Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Healthy-ish with Nutritionish. This is going to be your go-to podcast for everything nutrition, weight loss, diets, all that stuff. My goal in life is to change the diet culture because the way that we try to lose weight, the way that we think about nutrition, it doesn't make us any healthier. So we're going to retrain your brain to think in a positive way so that you can make real lifelong habit changes in the most pleasant way possible. So if your goal is weight loss or just to get healthier, you'll be in a position to do so. So every week we're going to pick a new topic. Today's topic is going to be all about the W word, which is weight. I'm planning on having a bunch of great guests on. This podcast is going to be taken over. I'm super psyched about it. I've been wanting to do this for such a long time. We used to have our Facebook one that we did, which we called Nutritionish at 8ish, which we did on social media platforms, but this was the best way I could think of to reach more people. So I'm so excited that you're with us. Just to give you a little bit of a background about me, my name is Michelle. I went to school for nutrition, have my master's in it, all that fun stuff. But I realized that the way that we go about teaching people how to eat isn't always effective. So my company, Nutritionish, we've been around for about 7 or 8 years now, and our goal is to get people into good eating habits long term. So I've worked with thousands and thousands of people. I think I've clocked in, last I checked, I think it was in the realm of about 40,000 appointments. So you guys are going to get all the benefits of that knowledge that I've acquired. So I've extracted all the best information over those appointments, and we're going to give it to you so that you guys can start implementing some of these habits into your daily lives. So I'm planning on having a bunch of great guests on, but for the first episode, I just wanted you guys to myself here. So I wanted to talk about the W word, which was weight, and the way we think about it, how we go about, testing it, what does it really mean, how it affects our day and our mood. Like, I can't tell you how many times people get on the scale and it affects your whole day. If you're feeling like you're in the zone, you feeling like you're eating right, and then you get on the scale and it's not the number that you think it should be or that you want to see, we let it affect our whole frigging day. And it's so easy then to get into the mentality of, well, why bother eating healthy? And intellectually, we know that's not right. And we know that's not going to be in line with our long-term goals, but we still can't help but feel that way. And it's because we put so much emphasis on this number. I describe weight, it's kind of like the SAT of nutrition, right? We need a universal way of defining something. But whenever you have a universal way of defining anything, you lose accuracy. And that's kind of what weight is. It gives us a general idea, but not the full picture. And we live and die by this freaking number. So let's start changing about how we think of it. The way I talk to my clients about weight, right? I tell them weight, it's not a problem, right? It's a symptom. So the way that I look at nutrition and the way I look at food, and this is what I want you guys to start doing too, is I want you to start to think about, instead of thinking about it as like calories and like eating less and restriction and miserableness and all that kind of stuff, I want you to think about it, nutrition, it's the tools your body needs to make you the right way. Say that again. It's the tools your body needs to make you the right way. So when you give your body the right tools, you get made correctly, right? If you give your body the incorrect tools, you get made incorrectly. And when you get made incorrectly, there are some symptoms of that, right? Some people have the symptom of weight gain. Some people have the symptom of high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Everyone has different symptoms, right? But when we focus on the symptom, we're not really fixing the problem. So going back to school, right? So when you're in school, the goal isn't necessarily to get good grades, right? The goal is to learn the information, and your grade is a reflection of that, right? So it's very rare that somebody would be going to school and, really understand and learn the information and then get a bad grade on the test, right? So a test is a reflection or a metric that you can look at to measure your understanding of the information. That's kind of like what weight is, right? It's a metric that we look at, but we're losing accuracy. So if you are focused on your habits, right, your nutritional habits, it's very rare that somebody would be improving their nutrition habits and that would not be reflected on the scale. So when I tell people who, get very affected by the weight, maybe you don't weigh yourself or maybe weigh yourself less, we need to give them another metric to look at. And looking at your habits and habit improvement, that's really where all your focus should be. That's what's going to get you there long term. There's a very big difference between weight manipulation and getting into good eating habits, and then the weight is a reflection of that. If we're thinking about it that way, right, it would be very weird. Let's say your symptom wasn't weight. Let's say, God forbid, it was high blood pressure, right? Or let's say it was high cholesterol. You're not going to go to your doctor every day, right, and give him your arm and say, check me, check me, check me. You're not even going to do that once a week, right? You hear the information, okay, my cholesterol is a little high. You go to, make some changes to your habits to fix it. And then if you did the right thing, in 3 months or 6 months or a year or whenever you go back, there's really not a whole lot of concern that there's going to be improvement in the number, right? Now, weight is the exact same thing. We just have an easier way of measuring it. But just like other metrics, when you look too close, it's distracting. So weight, and I'm so excited for people to understand how this works, right? Weight's made up of 3 things, right? Or it's made up of a lot of things, but 3 main things we'll talk about, right? We'll talk about water, we'll talk about muscle, and we'll talk about fat. So water weight fluctuates day to day, and it's based on a lot of things. It's based on, what your hydration status is. It's based on how much sodium, how much potassium you've consumed in the day, and that's going to fluctuate, right? But let's say I am eating so super healthy and I go out for sushi because it's delicious and I order sashimi, like the healthiest thing you could possibly order, right? And there's like nothing to sashimi. It's just a little bit of protein and very few calories. When I get on the scale the next day, my weight's going to be up. Is it because I gained fat? No. Is it because the sushi was so terrible for me? No. But the sodium in the soy sauce and the sodium that's probably on the sushi already is going to make my body retain water. So I made the healthiest choice. My habits were great. I hop on the scale. I see that the number is not what I thought it should be. And then I'm like, well, great. Why bother eating healthy? And that's so silly, right? So water weight fluctuates day to day. And that's why I don't like when people weigh themselves every day, because even if you got on the scale tomorrow, right, and you lost 2 pounds, you didn't really lose 2 pounds. You're looking at a water fluctuation. Fat takes longer than a few days to kind of see move, but water weight can fluctuate day to day. So instead of thinking of your weight as one number, let's think of it as like 3 numbers, like a range, 3 to 4 numbers. And the goal is that you see your range go down. So if the lowest number you normally see on the scale, just for example, is like 150, and the highest number you see is 154, then that's your range. Now, when you lose weight, that range will go from maybe like 149 to 153 and then 148 to 152. If you are 148 one day and then 149 the next day, that does not mean that you gained weight. It's just still within your range. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So that's water weight and water fluctuation, and that's why you don't want to look too closely with that. But something to think about, and definitely a good thing to kind of know. Anytime that you go out to eat, it doesn't matter what you order, all restaurants, all of them, they use sodium as a preservative, right? So it doesn't matter if you order the healthiest thing on the menu, it's probably going to be high in sodium, or at least higher than you're probably used to making at home. So even if you order the healthiest thing on the menu, if you were to hop on the scale the next day, it would probably be up. Don't be discouraged by that. It's totally normal. The best thing to do is drink a ton of water, and then it flushes itself out. Or we actually have a product on our website that I love to recommend. It's called Bloat Banisher. So if you go to nutrishmish.com/store, that's www.nutrishmish.com/store. You can click on our Bloat Banisher supplement, and if it's something that's really bothering you, if you are retaining water, it'll help kind of speed it through your system. So that's my little personal hack. But otherwise, just drink a bunch of water, and that should help flush it out, within 24 hours or so. Water weight fluctuates day to day. Okay. The next one is we have muscle and then we have fat, right? Now, if you're doing a low carb diet, right? Think about the word carbohydrate, right? If you're doing like keto or something, the word hydrate's in there. So, if you go on a low carb diet, yes, you're going to lose a lot of weight very quickly those first couple of days. A lot of that's water weight. That's kind of what you're looking at there. Muscle, that can kind of, it won't hop on so quickly, especially if you're a female, because we don't necessarily produce a ton of testosterone. Your muscles can get stronger, but we're not going to build pounds of muscle. You would lose muscle potentially, though, if you are restricting your calories too much. So whenever you restrict your calories too much, your body's like, shit, we don't have enough calories, but we can't just let this person drop dead, so what do we do? So you have 2 storage forms of energy in your body, right? You have your muscle, which is your protein, and then you have fat, which is your fat. If you're starving your body, you're restricting your calories so much, your body's very unlikely to go to your fat for energy because it's considered calorically valuable, and protein is considered less calorically valuable. Meaning, like, let's say in a financial crisis, right? Let's say you're like, oh my gosh, I need money, right? It's an emergency. You're going to be a lot less likely to tap into your 401k versus your checking account, right? Now, you might say, but there's more money in my 401k. But it's more valuable, right? You get taxed on that more. So you would go to your checking account and waste away that before you tap into something more valuable, like your 401k, for example. Your body's the same way. Fat is calorically valuable, right? It's got more calories. Your body looks at calories as a good thing. It's trying to keep you alive, right? And it's going to look at your muscle, which is your protein, as less calorically valuable. So in a lot of instances, it'll start to waste away your muscle, right? If you're not taking in enough calories. So there's a really fine line between weight and like the right kind of weight, right? So if you're restricting your calories too much, it's possible you're losing muscle. We know that water weight fluctuates day to day. So how the hell does body fat loss work? So there is 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. That does not mean you have to burn off 3,500 calories necessarily, but there's a lot of little tricks and things that you can do to kind of manipulate your metabolism to work a little faster, to burn a little bit more. But regardless, it takes about a full week to see real true fat loss. So if you're looking at those numbers every single day, it's almost like watching the stock market hour by hour. So if I'm looking at, my Facebook stock and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's at this, and then it dropped 2 cents, and then it's up 5 cents, and then I'm looking at it too closely. I don't even know what number I'm comparing it to. I don't know if I lost, I don't know if I gained. But over time, right, if I look, that'll give me a little bit of a better answer. So when you're talking about fat loss, you should expect about 4 to 8 pounds within a month. About 1 to 2 pounds a week, which, trust me, I wish there was a sexier, more fun answer. But that being said, body fat's big. It's about the size of a coffee mug. So if I lost a coffee mug size thing off my body every week, if I was trying to lose weight, I wouldn't be mad at that. That's pretty significant. But if you're losing muscle or water, that's the weight that you're used to manipulating, it's going to be much smaller than that. But if you lose about 5 pounds of body fat, 5 to 8 pounds of body fat, that's about a size. So the whole idea is don't get so hung up on the scale, right? The scale is just a metric, just like your cholesterol. It's just like the grade. When you're doing the right thing, it's barring you have a medical condition, it's very unlikely that your results wouldn't be reflected in that number, but it does take some time, so you want to take a step back. So if you put all the energy that you might focus into about the scale and the weight and all that, if you put that energy into your habits, right, and fine-tuning those and fixing those, oh my gosh, would you be successful, and would you take over the world, and would you get there, and you never have to worry again. So I hope this kind of helped cleared up a little bit about weight and how it works, and I hope this helped kind of change the way that you think about weight a little bit. It's a great tool, and I'm not saying ignore it. I'm just saying look at it the right way, look at it appropriately. Don't let it dictate your day, and if you do want something to really focus on your habits, and that's what we do at Nutrishmish. So if you guys are interested, please check us out on social media. You can follow us on the Insta, on the Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. We got everything covered at Nutrishmish. That's Nutrishmish. Leave us a comment. Tell us that you heard this podcast. You can also follow my personal Instagram, which is Nutrishmish off the clock. All right. For anybody listening to this podcast, if you would like a free session with us just to kind of start you off on your own habit journey to really change those eating habits, really finally conquer weight loss, and really do it the right way once and for all, go online, go to our website, nutrishmish.com. And go to where it says make your first appointment, and then at checkout enter promo code NUTRISH in capitals. That's NUTRISH. It will waive the initial fee, and then you'll get a free session with us so we can get you started. All right. I hope you guys found that helpful. Please subscribe to this podcast, and I am looking forward to the next episode. All right. Enjoy the rest of your days. Stay healthy.